I think just the key for Hudson is just going to do his job at a high level, and obviously in your second year, hopefully he feels a whole lot more comfortable, and I think with him, the key is just going to be go out there and be really, really confident, and because I think when he plays with confidence, he can do some really special things. The last couple games he played last season, his last two, I think he played against Minnesota. He missed the game against Northwestern, and then played against IU, and he really played lights out in those two games. And hopefully we can build on that, carry over confidence from what he did in those two games, and go execute at a high level. So I'm excited to watch him play. He's obviously had a great offseason. He's had a heck of a fall camp, and we expect a lot out of him. And so, him being as intelligent as he is, as good a football player he is, we'll put a lot on him and let him go try to move the offense.
No, he's not a newcomer to follow up on Hudson, but is there anything that you think that a Texas guy has, maybe especially a Texas quarterback has, based on the level of play that you guys see growing up, that helps prepare you for the next level?
Well, especially coming out of the program that he came out of, I think coming out of Lake Travis, he came up through basically a college type program, with the off-season programs that they're going to run at Lake Travis, with the spring balls, with the quality of coaches that he had. I think that what you see from him is just he has a really, really high IQ, a really, really high understanding of what football, what you're trying to do. And so, Hudson's the type of kid that you can tell him one time in a meeting room, you don't have to show and he gets it, because he understands football, he understands what you're trying to do offensively, he understands what we're trying to attack, and because of that, like I said, it doesn't take, he's not a rep guy or something like that, and some of it is, I think, of a lot of it is probably just how good of a program he came out of and how good the high school coaches he had prepared him for that level, And then obviously he played against some really good competition as well, and played with some great players and played against some great players. So I don't think the transition's near as big for a kid like him. Like I say, coming out of the type of program he came out of, against the competition he played against in high school, probably the transition to college is probably a little smoother.
Are there things that Indiana State does, either from a personnel standpoint, schematic standpoint, that you think or you hope challenges you guys, gives you guys more data as you finish this evaluation coming out of camp into the season?
Yeah, I think they do a heck of a job playing hard, and from watching the tape, they're going to try to get a bunch of hats around the box in the run game, and so we're going to have to do a heck of a job, like knowing our assignment and executing our assignment, to create run lanes for those backs, like I said, in the run game, and then I think it'll be interesting, I think it's a good thing and a bad thing, but kind of going into week one, you don't know exactly what you're going to see, and so from some standpoint, you can go in there and say, hey, we're just going to execute what we do and hopefully do it at a high level. But by the other standpoint, like I said, you don't know exactly what you're going to see, so there's a little bit of a guess again going in with that from that standpoint. So, like I said, I do think that they'll get hats around the box in the run game and make us be disciplined with our assignments and know what we're doing and play hard to move the football, run the ball. And then on the perimeter, I think it'll be interesting to see how they decide to play us. And we'll have to go throw and catch at a high level regardless of how they play us, whether it be underneath, whether we try to get on top of them or whatever. Like I said, whatever they do, we'll have to adjust and create, Hudson will have to make good decisions, take care of the football, put the ball in those guys' hands, and let our receivers go see what they can do.
Do you anticipate using Reggie and Devin similar to how you used Tracy and Devin last year, like kind of just a feel thing or splitting reps?
Yeah, I think they'll both get a lot of reps, at that position. I think it's important to stay fresh, but, kind of like last year, if you get a hot hand also, I think it's important to feed the hot hand. And so those two guys, we're fortunate to have those two guys. Just like last year, we were fortunate to have Mock and Tracy, to have two backs at that level that we think are as high quality as those two. Really is, it's nice to have. Like I said, you can keep the other one, you can keep them both fresh, hopefully. But again, if one can kind of get a hot hand or is seeing it really well, you can kind of feature them and feed them and allow them to go, do work out there. So we're excited about both those guys, and like you're exactly right. You'll see both of them, and they'll both get reps early, and it's again, one, staying fresh, and two, let the high hand roll.
Can you expand the playbook a little bit from the end of last year where you basically had 5 or 6 offensive linemen, didn't have a full allotment of receivers at times? Clearly being healthy helps, but are you able to do some more things with, the options you have now?
Yeah, I think we'll be able to, and I think that more than anything, it's because most of them are coming back and they have an understanding, especially the quarterback. When you have a quarterback that has experience in the system particularly, it makes it for sure a whole lot easier. And so it allows you to do more. One thing that Leach used to tell me as a player, though, it's not about what I understand, it's about what we get all 11 to understand. And so that's going to be the key to make sure all 11 can. Just because Hudson can handle more doesn't mean like all 11 can handle more. So that'll be important to kind of see where we are. We do have a lot of guys coming back though. Obviously we have a few new faces, but I've been really happy about the guys that we've had out there throughout the fall, or throughout fall camp, I guess, from the standpoint of just the retention of information, whether they be new guys or guys that have been here. It's been pretty easy to coach them because, like I said, one, I think they want to learn, and two, they've been in the system, most of them, for at least a year now, and so it makes things a whole lot easier. And hopefully we can stay healthy. Like you said, last year, obviously we got pretty beat up, and we had to be strategic even about practicing, and so hopefully we can actually practice this year. But regardless, if we can get 11 guys going the same direction, we'll have a chance.
What are the challenges for coaches nowadays when you're breaking in so many new receivers and things like that? Do you have to water things down a little bit? You have to simplify it? Do you just throw everything at them at once and expect them to catch up?
Yeah, I think with the transfer portal and kind of the new age of college football, obviously you're going to have more new guys each year than you had or used to in the past. You know what I mean? So there is I think a part of that you have to be smart about. But this group has been really, really sharp, you know what I mean? And like Tibbs, for instance, Tibbs can play any of the positions and knows exactly what to do regardless of what, any of what position he's playing or what receiver position he's playing. And so when you have guys like that, it allows you to be a little more versatile and open up a little bit because you feel pretty comfortable about him. And if someone were to go down, well, you still feel good, like, oh shoot, the backup doesn't know what to do. Well, Tibbs can play any of them and know what to do. And we have a handful of guys like that, but he's just an easy example of a guy that one, he's taken giant leaps from year 1 to year 2, and 2, he's just a really, really intelligent player that allows you to do more offensively. So, but like you said, with the new receiver room, I think you have to be smart. It's kind of like having a freshman. I think that when you have a really talented freshman, sometimes if they haven't picked it all up, you have to have a package and understand, like, hey, these are the plays that you could get, you know what I mean? And when this guy's in the game, these are the plays we'll call, and we can get him really comfortable running these X number of plays. And so I think that, like you said, when you have, with the transfer portal age, if you have a whole lot of new guys, you kind of have to get a feel for who they are and what they pick up. Obviously, if they pick it all up, then that makes it easy. But if they can't, but they're still really talented, I think it's important to find ways to get them on the field. So then I think you shrink the package down when they are on the field and do things that put them in a position to be successful, give them a chance to go out there and still use their abilities, but don't overwhelm them from a mental standpoint. Because I think that the biggest disservice we can do as coaches is to create hesitation from a mental standpoint. If you overload them with information and then you create hesitation, well, you're getting a watered down version of what you should be getting. And I think that's our job as coaches, is try to eliminate hesitation the best you can so you can get the best version of each guy on each play.
It seemed like a few games last year, you guys were just kind of some red zone execution away from maybe stealing a game here or there. When you look at how to improve there, what kinds of things are you thinking could lead to that and ensure success there this year?
Yeah, I think hopefully, I think that one thing we have, if you look at the roster, we got some really big, our size at receiver has increased quite a bit. And so I think down there in the red zone, I think the bigger guys give you an advantage, obviously. Coach Leach used to say, like, football is the one place where big guys can still beat up on little guys, you know what I mean? And hopefully we can do that at the receiver position. Also up front, I think we've gotten, quite a few new guys, and hopefully we can stay healthy there and move the pile. But throughout the camp or throughout fall and really the spring, that tight end room did some great things, and that's a place where obviously those guys can really be productive. And so if we can stay healthy in the tight end room, I think those guys can really help us in the red area, you know what I mean? And finding ways to get them touches, finding ways to get get positive matchup, get matchups that we think are advantageous for us down there, will go a long ways. And so, like I said, I think last year, we had to take care of the ball down there, and I can think about the Syracuse game. If we just take care of the ball, throughout the whole field, but especially as you start to get into the scoring area, you probably win that football game. And so, ball security will be, we've emphasized that. You always emphasize that, but hopefully we can take care of the ball down there, and then create matchups for our guys that put our guys in a position to be successful and score points.
With that wide receiver room, with a lot of new faces, what's that chemistry between them and Hudson look like, and is it a place that you like going into the season?
We feel good about it right now. No, we haven't played any games, so we'll find out. But no, we, the thing about college football now is it's a year-round job, and I think that it's been that way for a long time, but now maybe more than ever it's that way. And so it's not like they've only thrown together during fall camp. They all throughout winter, almost the whole roster was here, and I thought that was something that Coach Walters put a big emphasis on, was trying to get most of our roster here in January. I think that, again, kind of with the evolving landscape of college football and having more new players than you used to have with the transfer portal and things like that, getting guys there in January is a big advantage, because now you can start to create your football team and get a whole lot of reps with each other throughout that spring before the summer starts. But most of the roster was here in January, so obviously they got a ton of reps together then. Those guys rarely get breaks throughout the summer. They get a couple, but they're here most of the summer together, still throwing. And then you get a whole lot of reps in fall camp. And so we feel good about where they are, the chemistry between those guys going into the game one. Obviously there's going to be some, I think there's going to be some learning curves. There's going to be some things that don't go your way, and it's not going to be perfect, I'm sure, week one, which obviously everyone would like it to be. But if it's not, we'll learn from it, we'll improve, we'll get back at it the following week and try to improve each week. But like I said, we feel good about it where they are right now. They've thrown a whole lot of balls together, and if we just go out there and do our job at a high level, we'll give ourselves a chance each week.
More questions for Coach Harrell? All right, thank you, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
We have Coach